Hi everyone, welcome to another lesson on the DOE 10012 Communicative English 1. Today's topic, oral presentation skill. In this lesson, you'll be able to discuss clearly through elaboration of main points and supporting details, use signposting, transition markers, and use appropriate visual aids to enhance presentation. Let's look at the first part. Express idea clearly through elaboration of main points and supporting details. Let's watch a video. In the previous lesson, we have learned to develop central ideas of your presentation. So what's next? Just like the spider, once a central web is created, it develops the linking points to complete its web. Now, in your presentation, you need to develop your ideas by connecting main point to supporting details. So typically, an organized presentation will include three parts: an introduction, a body, and a conclusion. Developing a clear pattern of organization makes it easier for you to stay on your topic and for audience to follow your presentation. These are some key points to remember before structuring your idea. Whatever the context of your presentation, keep in your mind that you are communicating ideas or messages to an audience. So keep it simple because you aim to make the audience understand and listen to your message. The audience need to understand each stage of your presentation or they will start to look at their handphones, and this means that they're not listening to you anymore. Next, provide a clear message. So when you begin thinking about your points, make sure the points are clear. It's easy to do this. Try to read the points yourself and see whether you understand it or not. If you fail to understand it, most probably your listeners won't either. This is where you also need to know your audience. Who are they? What they know and what they don't know. What's their proficiency of the language? The more you know about your audience, the better your presentation will be. Next, keep in mind that the presentation is for the audience. So just like any performances, you need to acknowledge the audience by guiding them through your presentation. The oral presentation is not about finishing your speech, but ensuring that the audience get your message. So guide them to understand your points. What are main points and supporting details? Main point is the key point that you want your audience to know. Supporting details are describing the main points. So it makes the main idea more stronger and clearly. So how many points do you need to include in your presentation? This depends on the duration of time given for your presentation. With a 7 to 10 minutes presentation, it is recommended for you to have at least 3 points with sufficient supporting details for each point. Don't forget that this time also includes the introduction and the conclusion. So the breakdown would be 30 seconds to 1 minute of the introduction, 2 to 3 minutes for each point, and another 30 seconds to 1 minute for a conclusion. Structuring your presentation. The main objective for any presentation is to deliver one or more key messages. The PEEP principle is the easiest tips to remember to structure each of your main points as it helps to achieve the aims. It works based on the acronym PEEP. Present the point, give explanation, give examples, and recap your points. The PEEP principle is simple and it provides a clear structure for each of your main points. It helps you to be disciplined in conveying your points. If you like to be spontaneous, it might lead you to give insufficient information in your speech and your presentation may be off track. So PEEP will help to control the information that you present to your audience. This is just a basic principle. Once you master this principle, then you can try other variations. In order to prepare your points, you can make an outline of presentation. So the outline of presentation will contain your main points, main point 1 to 3, your supporting details, which gives the information about your main point. It can be an explanation, examples, or reasons. And you can also include other pictures that you may use in your visual aids. So how do you guide your audience? This is where you need to be able to use suitable signposting and transitional markers. Signposting is a technique to help people follow the meaning of what you are saying. So they will guide the listeners and they will give an outline of your presentation. It also will help to establish rapport with your audience and also categorize what you are saying.
Imagine you're driving on a busy road without any signboards. What would happen? You'd probably crash before you reach your destination. That is why signboard is important. Similarly, in oral presentation, you need to have signboards, and this is known as signposting. Signposting will enhance the flow of your presentation. It's used to give direction or show signals in your presentation for the audience to be alert to the points that you are saying in your presentation. Another important language focus in your presentation is by using transitional markers. Just like putting the right ingredients in a recipe to make it delicious, this is where you need to put transitional markers at the right place in your presentation to increase the effectiveness of your presentation. Transitional markers or linking words can be used at the beginning, the middle, the end, or when you want to join two sentences together. So when do we use transitional markers? To add new ideas, to show comparison, to show contrast or contradiction, to show sequence or order in your presentation, to emphasize a point, to show examples, to show cause and effect, and you can use it to conclude your points.
Let's pronounce the common transition words and phrases that you can use in your presentation. In addition, moreover, also, additionally, furthermore, as well. In other words, as mentioned. That is, again. In this case, anyway, therefore, as a result, consequently, thus, so that, so, first, second, third. First of all, firstly, secondly, thirdly, next, then, finally, previously, meanwhile. However, on the other hand, on the contrary, nevertheless, conversely, unlike, similarly, in comparison, comparatively, likewise, like, unlike. For example, for instance, such as, like. Finally, in conclusion, to conclude, to sum up, in summary.
Now that you have your presentation planned, and what can you do next to enhance your presentation? You can use powerful visual aids. Let's watch this video. Before choosing a visual aid, you should know why you're using them. It should serve the purpose of increasing audience attention and understanding. It is a supplementary presentation and it creates a lasting impact. It also adds variety to your presentation. So understand that a PowerPoint slide is not your presentation. A PowerPoint adds power to your point. So you do not use the visual aids to show your whole presentation. These are the effective tips on using visual aids. Firstly, the rule of 5. Have no more than 5 lines of text on a slide and no more than 5 words on a line. This is very important. The most mistake that students make is putting a whole paragraph of information in one slide. And in the end, you'll end up reading from it. So do not do this. What you need to do is you need to follow the rule of 5. Next, put in pictures and diagrams or charts. It is more effective than words because we tend to like to look at more pictures and even videos. So when you choose pictures, make sure that the pictures is related to your points. Do not put in pictures that are not related. It would just end up being a distracting in your slide. Okay, next, make sure contents are visible by using appropriate background color, font, and size. Select suitable presentation tools. So these are the basic tools that you can use: PowerPoint slides, Prezi, Prezi, and Google Slides. So this is basic tools. There are other applications if you like to explore, for example, Canva, Peer Deck, and other applications that's available in Google or even the Play Store. So here are some other types of visual aids. You can use a graph, map, drawings, models, objects, charts, photos and images I mentioned earlier, videos, or you can just simply use a whiteboard. So this is a reminder. You use visual aids to give impact to your presentation, and you do not use it to present the information to your audience. So make sure that visual aids are there for the audience to look at, and it is not for you to read from it. So make it interesting. You put in pictures, you put in videos. These are the things that will stimulate what the audience want to look at. So remember, again, using visual aids to give impact to your presentation. All right, so these tips will help you to prepare for visual aids. Keep it simple. Use minimal words. Use keywords. Present one key per slide. Use suitable background color or design. Use appropriate font and size. Embed short videos. And use visible charts, graph, and pictures. So make sure that your presentation or visual aids is visible. The layout should be pleasant and easy to read. Use font types that are good to read, for example, Arial or Times New Roman. And font size depends on the room that you'll be speaking in. If you're speaking in a classroom, then the font size would be 20 or 30. Or if you're speaking in a hall, a big hall, then you should consider having larger font size. So use different sizes for different types. For example, 20 for the main heading and 16 for the subheading and 14 for the other information. You can also use capital letters, bold, face, italics, underlining, reverse, black and white, or shading to highlight. And in using capital letters, please do not use capital letters for the main points that you are giving. So this would end up audience are reading it in a different manner. So the appropriate is to have capital letters for the subheading, and the rest would use the normal letters. Right? Use color wisely. So do not avoid having contrasting colors that will hurt the audience eye when they are looking at your slides. For example, you're having a red background with a pink writing, with a pink words. So audience will not be able to see your what you have put on the slides for them. Other important reminders when using visual aids: you need to align your visual aids according to the points of your presentation. So it is best that you practice your presentation with your visual aid, so you know which part is more and which part is less. You also need to maintain eye contact with audience and do not read from the visual aids. Next, use the visual aids, which means that you're not just showing it to your audience, but you need to be able to explain the information or the pictures or diagrams that you put on your slides. Even videos. If you have videos, put a video there and explain it. Okay, don't just have it running and Okay, you're moving on to the next point. So whatever you put in your visual aid, you should know what it is and you should explain some of the contents. Right. Next, do not block your visual aid when you present. This means that you don't stand in front of the projector when you are presenting. So these are the things that you need to be aware before or when you are presenting. That's the end of the lesson. Again, thank you for watching. And if you like the contents, then give it a like and please subscribe. Then you will get notifications on the coming lessons that I will be preparing. Thank you for watching again.